Good morning. Today is Monday, January 29th, 2024. First, a short introduction. We often use the word Parsha to mean portion, as in the weekly Torah Parsha, the weekly Torah portion. This week's Torah portion, or this week's Parsha, is the Parsha of Yitro. That's the Parsha that we're going to read this Shabbos. Last Shabbos, the Parsha was B'Shalach. So the first thing is that the names of each weekly Torah portion only come later in Jewish history, after the time of the Talmud. And the choice of the name, which might or might not relate to the theme of that morning's reading, is usually a significant word in either the first or the second pasuk. But the truth is, the word Parsha is better translated as passage. And it really refers to a passage that you could think of either as a paragraph or a chapter. And it's indicated in the Torah, in the scroll of the Torah, which, remember, does not have any punctuation, but it's indicated with spaces before and after it to indicate that it is a unit of learning that God taught to Moshe and dictated to Moshe to be written down. Now, a parsha can be short. It can be just a couple of lines. It can be long, a full column, for example. And in every weekly Torah portion, there are numerous parshios, plural. The truth is, a better word for the weekly Torah portion is Sedra. Some people pronounce it Sidra. And that makes more sense because that means order. That means according to the order of how the Torah is divided, this is the section that is supposed to be read this Shabbos. I don't know why it's not more common to use the word Sedra to refer to the weekly Torah portion, but it is more precise and it's less confusing, especially for what I want to share this morning. Okay, end of the introduction. Vayishma Yisro Kohen Midyan Chosein Moshe. Yisro, who is a priest in Midian, which is now Jordan, and the father-in-law of Moshe, hears Eis kol asher asa lakim l'Moshe l'Yisrael amo. Everything that God had done for his son-in-law Moshe and for the Jewish people, Ki yotzi Hashem es Yisrael miMitzrayim, that God had taken the Jewish people out of Egypt. And there's going to be a narrative where Yisro comes to visit. Concerning his name, Yisro, Rashi says, Sheva Shemos Nikru Lo. This man had 7 different names. And by the way, in the Torah and in Nach, he's known by more than one of them. So Rashi is telling us he has 7 different names. And they are Reuel, Yeser, Yisro, that's the one we're familiar with, Chovav, Chaver, Keni, and Potiel. Okay? 7 different names by which this individual is known. And Rashi explains the meaning, the reason that he has the name Yisro, the name that he has Yeser, Yeser means extra, Al Shem Sheyiter Parsha Achas Batorah, because he added a Parsha of the Torah, the Ata Techazeh, when Yisro said to his son-in-law Moshe, you should appoint judges. That's Yisro speaking to Moshe, you should appoint judges. So he was called Yeser because he added a Parsha. Again, just to go back to what I said before, this is not explaining why the weekly Torah portion that we have this week is called Yisro. That's got nothing to do with that. This is simply that a passage, like a paragraph, was added to the Torah because of Yisro's conversation with his son-in-law Moshe, So this passage was added to our Sidra. What's the passage? So it refers to the narrative near the beginning of our Parsha. When Yitro came to visit his son-in-law Moshe, Moshe greeted him with great honor, great respect. And then, the next day, Yitro watched what Moshe did. Vayeshev Moshe lishpot es ha'am. Moshe sat to judge the people. People had disputes, people had questions, and they would come to Moshe. Vayamod ha'am al Moshe min haboker ad ha'arev. And the line to see Moshe stretched out so far that people were standing in this line from the beginning of the morning till the end of the night. Because so many people had questions, and Moshe was the Rabbeinu, the teacher, the one who had heard it all from God. Moshe was the source. Vayar Chosei Moshe es kol asher hu oseh la'am. Yitro saw everything that Moshe was doing. Vayomer, and he said to his son-in-law, Ma hadavar hazeh asher ata oseh la'am. Why is it that this is what you're doing? Madua ata yoshev levadecha. Why are you sitting alone as the judge or the adjudicator? V'chol ha'am nitzav alecha min haboker ad ha'arev. And everyone is standing in line waiting to speak to you from morning till night. Vayomer Moshe lechosno. Moshe says, Ki yavo elai ha'am lidrosh elokim. People come to me to ask questions. They want to know what God's opinion is. If there's a dispute, if there's a question, I'm the one that knows, so they come to me. Vayomer Chosei Moshe elav lo tov hadavar asher ata oseh. Yitro says to his son-in-law Moshe, it's not good what you're doing. Because Navol Tibol, Gamata, Gam Hamazeh Shemach. You're going to wear yourself out, and you're going to wear the people out. You're going to wear yourself out because you won't be able to get anything else done besides listening to these disputes all day long from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. And the people are going to get worn out. They're standing in line all day long, and I'm sure that means a lot of people didn't get their chance even by the end of the day. So people just spending their whole lives standing in line waiting to speak to you. You're going to get worn out, and they're going to get worn out. It's not a good idea. V'ata techezeh mikol ha'am. Now here's what you do. Here's what you should do, Yitro says. Find among the people, Anshe Chayil, Yirei Elokim, find people who have valor, who fear God, who are trustworthy, who hate bribery, who are worthy to be judges. V'samta lehem, and put judges on the people. Appoint judges. You shouldn't be the only one. Appoint judges. You'll have lower court judges and higher court judges, and people will go to the judges. And all of the easy questions, the questions that have already been answered over and over and over again, those judges will be able to take care of. And once in a while, when a difficult question comes up, either it's never been asked before, or it's a very difficult dispute, and the lower courts, the lower judges can't evaluate it, they'll bring that case to you. And this will relieve the burden on the people because they'll have plenty of judges to go to. They don't have to wait all day in line. And it will relieve the burden on you because you will only have to deal with the very easy case, the very hard cases that nobody else could deal with. And the Torah says, Vayishma Moshe l'kol chosno. Moshe listened to his father-in-law, Vayaz kol asher omar, and did exactly all that he had suggested. So, since we have this narrative as a result of Yitro, because it was due to Yisro's observation and suggestion that we have this whole paragraph, he was given the name Yeser. He added a passage to the Torah. This Parsha, this passage was added because of his suggestion. But when we study Rashi, certainly when we study the Torah, but even when we study a medieval commentator like Rashi. We have to read the words very, very carefully, because every single word that Rashi wrote in his commentary to the Torah, he wrote it with precision. He chose every word, and every word is there to teach us a lesson. Listen carefully one more time. Rashi says that Yisro had 7 names, and one of the names was Yeser. Why was he given the name Yeser? Al Shem Sheyasar Parsha Achas BaTorah, because he added a passage to the Torah, V'ata Techazeh, starting with the words, now listen to me. Hold on a second. Those words, V'ata Techazeh, now listen to me, that Yisro says to Moshe, that's not the beginning of the passage. The beginning of the passage is, Vayar Chosei Moshe, as Yisro saw everything that Moshe was doing, and he said, what you're doing is not good, you're going to get worn out, and the people are going to get worn out. V'ata Techazeh is in the middle. If Yisro is going to be credited with adding a passage, at least let him be credited with the entire passage that he added. He added starting from when he saw Moshe judging all day. And he told him it's not right. Why only credit Yisro with adding the passage from the words V'ata Techazeh, and you should appoint judges? Rabbi Dr. Abraham Twerski gives a classic answer. And it's something that is so relevant. It comes up all the time. What Rashi means to teach us is that what was noteworthy about Yisro's observation is not that he saw that what Moshe was doing was wrong. A lot of people can see what you're doing wrong. What Yisro is rewarded for, what Yisro added that is really special and unique and that is deserving that a name should be given to him for that, is not when he simply criticizes Moshe, but when he says, V'ata Techazeh, here's what you do to fix it. Here's how you can make it better. Anybody can criticize. But not everybody can give helpful advice in how to fix the situation. It's easy to find faults. It's not so easy to find solutions. So to find fault, to see what Moshe is doing and to say, it's not good, you're going to get worn out, anybody could have done that. It takes no special trait to be able to criticize what Moshe is doing. The greatness of Yisro is that he had a solution. And that's why what is credited to him for adding to the Torah starts from the words, V'ata Techazeh. Here's what you do to fix it. Here's what you do to make it better. Appoint other judges, and they will share in your responsibilities. It's easy to criticize. There was a sign in a deli window on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And the sign in the window says, don't criticize the coffee. You may be old and weak yourself someday. To criticize is easy. Teddy Roosevelt once said, complaining about a problem without posing a solution is called whining. It's called whining. You're just whining, unless you actually have some solution to make it better. But here's a classic story of finding a solution to a problem. And it's a solution that was found by the Wise Men of Chelm. One night in Chelm, there fell a blanket of snow. It was so clean. It was so smooth. And when the elders of the city woke up that morning, they were overcome by its pristine beauty. Imagine how it looks, fresh, clean snow. But then they realized that it was the practice of the shamash, the gabbai from the shul. He would be the first person to get up and go outside, and he would go from house to house to knock on the door to tell people, it's time to come to shul, it's time to come to davening. The problem is, as soon as the shamash started walking outside with his big klutzy feet, he would trample and ruin the beautiful snow, and this beautiful, pristine scene would be disturbed. And that could not happen. The city of Chelm, the elders wanted the beauty of the pristine, clean snow to remain. So the wise men of Chelm gathered in a very quick emergency session. And after a great deal of deliberation, they came up with a solution, an unparalleled solution, a brilliant solution. To prevent the shamash from trampling the smooth snow with his big feet, 4 men would carry the shamash from door to door. So the lesson is, don't just criticize. Find a solution. But try to find a solution like Yitro that makes the situation better. Not like the wise men of Chelm that just makes it worse. My friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.